Speaking of man among men, I want to say what's up to our viewer, Mr. Mike Huckleberry 88. My brother, Mike Huckleberry 88, you are a man among men. There are very few like you. Mike Huckleberry 88, my brother, keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you for taking this ride with us. Number one, comparisons can cause you to feel inadequate, and comparisons can cause you to feel insecure about what you're doing. When you're constantly looking at somebody else's highlight film, man, it makes you feel inadequate. It makes you feel like you're not getting anywhere, you're not accomplishing much, because you got to understand, you're going through the ins and outs of your life. But with other people, you're just looking at their highlight film. So all they're doing is posting all the good stuff about their lives and none of the bad stuff. But what happens is when you continue to look at that, you start to think that everybody is having a good time but you. Everybody is making accomplishments but you. You think that everybody is raising the bar and everybody is leveling up but you. But I need you to understand, my brother, everybody ain't leveling up. And everybody is not raising the bar. You're right where you're supposed to be. You're right where you need to be. Don't you get discouraged by what you see on social media. Here's what I need you to understand. You got to ask yourself how much of it is really true and how much of it is make believe. See, you got to understand, my brother, there are a lot of people on social media who are posting that they got the new car. But the truth of the matter is, you don't know how they got the new car. You don't know how they sustaining the new car. You don't know what they're doing. You would be surprised, my brother, at the number of people who are going down to the buy here, pay here place just to get the car. See, you would be surprised if you were able to peep into the background. You would be surprised at the number of people who you'll see going to the buy here, pay here just to get the new Maserati so they can drive it around, so that they can look good, so that people can say, ooh, 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 look at you. Now, understand, I ain't hating, man. If a brother can afford it and a brother can drive it, drive right on, do your thing. I applaud you. So I ain't hating on nobody, but I'm also asking you to consider both sides of the coin. Everybody who you see driving big cars, everybody who you see living in a big house, they don't necessarily own them houses. They don't necessarily own them cars. Or they paying for stuff they can't afford. Then you don't know how long they got the car. So you're comparing your life to somebody else's life, and you don't know he went and rented that car so that he can take the picture. Okay. And so we live in a society that's all about show off, all about showing what I got, and everything that you see ain't real. So there's two sides to every coin. So what I'm asking you to do, my friend, is when you're looking at these social media posts, don't allow them to make you feel inadequate. Don't allow them to make you feel insecure. Don't allow these posts to make you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. Okay? Take your time, grind slowly, save, invest your money, get your money up, level up, and then when you can drive the car, go buy the car. Then drive it. Okay? That's the way you do it. So don't compare your life to others' lives, because it's going to make you feel inadequate. It's going to make you feel insecure. You are adequate, my brother. Okay. You are right where you need to be, right at the time you need to be. You're in the place you need to be, and everything for you is right on time. So stay where you're at. Keep doing what you're doing. Look at social media. Look at what people have. Look at what's going on, but don't try to rush yourself. Don't try to hurry up and do things. God has a plan for you. He has a timing for you. See, that's the thing. You know that God has a plan for you, but you can't get out of the timing. The timing is just as important as the plan. So stick with what you're doing and stay where you're at, and everything is going to be all right. Number two, comparisons can foster envy and it can foster jealousy if you're not careful. If you're constantly comparing yourself to others, what happens is you can start envying those people. Then you can start becoming jealous of what somebody else has. See, if you're constantly looking at somebody and you're comparing yourself to somebody else, see, the only reason you're comparing yourself to somebody else is because you think that they are where you want to be. You don't compare yourself to somebody who's not where you want to be. You don't compare yourself to anybody who's sleeping under the bridge. You don't compare yourself to them. You compare yourself to a guy who you think got it going on. So what can happen is if you're constantly comparing yourself, you can start to become envious, and you can start envying what they have. And you can become jealous, and you can become jealous of that man because of what he's doing. You don't want to envy what nobody else have. Man, let me tell you something. What we want to do is you want to assume that everybody has what they have because they put in the work to get what they have, and they're on the track that they're supposed to be on. So you need to stay on the track that you're supposed to be on, stay on the road that you know you're supposed to be on, and in due time, those things will come to you. But right now, you where you at because that's where you're supposed to be. So don't become envious because of what somebody else have or what somebody else doing. You're not supposed to covet somebody else's stuff, man, because that eats deep down into your heart. When you start to look at another man and start to envy or covet the things that he has, it sets you up, man, for failure in a big way. Because when you start to envy somebody else and when you become jealous of somebody else, what you're really saying is that I'm not grateful for what I have. What I have and what God has given me is not enough. Especially when you start to envy somebody else's talents or become jealous of what somebody else is able to accomplish. What you're ultimately saying is, I don't think that what I am is good enough. I don't think that who I am is good enough. I don't think that I bring very much to the table. And so you're actually saying to the God who created you, man, I don't think that you did a very good job. I think you did a good job with that brother over there, but with me, you didn't do such a good job. And you don't want to go down that track. Listen, man, you are the best you that the world has to offer. You really are. See, you're going to make a horrible him because that job is already taken. You don't want to be like him. He's already doing it. So be like you. You could be the best you that you can possibly be. When you get to the point, man, where you feel like you don't have nothing to prove to nobody, you feel like I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. When you become happy with who you are, then what happens is you find yourself going down a path where you feel comfortable and you feel like, okay, yeah, I'm right where I need to be. I'm going in a direction I need to be going in. And then you can accomplish great things in your life. But you don't want to continue to compare yourself to others. You don't want to continue to look at others because, man, when you do that, you start to become envious, and envy can, it's like rottenness in the bones, man. Envy will just rot you from the inside. And so you don't want to do that. And then jealousy, you become jealous when you continue to look at others and look at what they have. You become jealous and you start wanting what they want. You forget what you got. Then you start doing some weird stuff, man, trying to get what they got. And you don't want to go down that road. So number two is, don't get into comparisons because it causes you to be envious and it'll cause you to be jealous, and those things will destroy you from the inside. The third thing that can happen is when you're constantly comparing yourself, you become less confident and you become unsure of yourself. See, you just got to do what you know how to do, and you can't compare yourself with other people. See, when I started this channel, man, what I was doing was I was looking at everybody else and how everybody else did channels and looking at this guy and looking at this guy. And so the more I looked at other people and saw how they were doing it, the less confident I felt about how I was doing. So I'm looking at them thinking, how are they doing such a good job and can I measure up? But I had to come to the realization that they are not my competition. I am my competition. And so as I get people who come on and watch, my goal is to give information that you are interested in. And I can't compare myself with the guy who's getting millions of views, because if I compare myself with the guy who's getting millions of views, then I'm unsure about myself. I feel less confident about myself, and I feel like then I can never measure up to what he's doing. But I had to come to the realization that whoever the he is, he ain't the competition. See, I'm only in competition with myself, and that's where you gotta be, man. You can't continue to compare yourself with nobody else because you feel unsure about yourself. You feel like you can't get it done. So therefore, what you need to concentrate on is just what you bring to the table, and you work on yourself. You work on perfecting you. You work on getting better at what God has given you. God has given you some tools. Each one of us are individuals, man. You got to realize that they say, whoever the they is, I don't know who they is, but they say that none of us on this planet have the same fingerprints. None of us. Out of all the billions of people, we all got different fingerprints. So that tells you about the uniqueness of you. And so therefore, you don't want to be comparing yourself to anybody else, because brother, you are unique. You are one of a kind. Do what you've been given to do. If God has put you on a track to do some stuff, do what you've been given to do. Live your life. Do what you got to do. Make it happen your way. And don't compare yourself to others, because you're going to become unsure about yourself. You're going to lose confidence in yourself, and you're going to feel like you can never measure up and never get it done. But the truth of the matter is, you were never meant to measure up to what somebody else is doing. You're only meant to measure up to what you're supposed to do. And so whether you're doing good or whether you're doing bad is based upon where you're supposed to be. See, if right now you're supposed to be up here, but you're down here, then what needs to happen is you need to compare yourself to yourself so you can get to where you're supposed to be. Understand, it ain't bad that you're here. That ain't bad. Okay, but you're supposed to be up here, but you're steady comparing yourself to other people, and the other guy is up here and you're down here, and then you think that, well, I can never get where he's at. You're not supposed to be where he's at. You're supposed to be where you're at. So where are you supposed to be? Do what you're supposed to do. Accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish. Measure by what you're supposed to do. Don't compare yourself to others. When you compare yourself to others, man, you feel unconfident and you feel unsure about yourself, which will bring you to stagnation. Then you don't want to do nothing. Then you figure, what's the use? I ain't getting nowhere anyway, so I might as well not do anything. And then you don't want to do that, my brother. So don't compare yourself to anybody else, because you'll feel unsure of yourself and you'll feel lack of confidence in yourself. Number 4, when you're constantly comparing your life to somebody else's life, then what ends up happening is you just have no appreciation for the journey that you're on. Listen, man, you're supposed to enjoy the journey. Wherever you're going, the journey is just as important as the destination. I know you want to get to the destination. Whatever your final goal is, you want to get there. But you know what? Along this journey that you're taking in life, you got to understand and you got to realize that the journey that you're on is just as important, even more so than the destination. Take time to enjoy where you're at. Even in your flaws, even when things are going wrong, even when things are falling apart, don't just look at this stuff and say, man, I hate this because it's falling apart. No, look around you. Look around you when everything is falling apart, because you can learn from all those things that are falling apart. You learn a magnitude of stuff when things are going bad. Start enjoying the journey. Everybody has a journey. Everybody has a journey. Everybody has a road that they have to take. You got your road that you got to take. But when you're comparing your life to other people's lives, then you start to not respect or like the journey that you're on. You start to think that the path that you've been given is no good. But the path that you're on, the path that you've been given, is just the right plan. It's just the right path to get you to where you need to be. So you need development before you can get to your final destination. There's some development that you need. There's some lessons that you got to learn. There's some things that have to grow up inside of you. You got to separate yourself from some stuff. You got to learn how to operate in certain spaces. You do, man. You got to figure out how to do these things. And as God continues to work with you and continue to grow you up, He continues to take things out of your life, continues to bring things into your life. So you got to respect the journey and you got to enjoy the journey. You got to stop sometimes. You got to slow down, brother. Slow down and enjoy the journey. Slow down and look around you and see what's going on. Slow down and look around you and say, man, you know what? I ain't where I want to be at, but you know what? I'm glad I ain't in the place that I was in 2 years ago. So slow down and enjoy the journey. And number 5, When you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you get a distorted perception of reality. That's right. Your reality, that you get a distorted perception of what reality truly is. You really don't know because you're looking at people on this video camera, you're looking at people on your phone. And see, when you're looking at social media, man, everybody having a good time. Everybody's enjoying life. Everybody, everybody's at the top of their game. Everybody is doing good. Everybody making money. Everybody living big. Everybody driving big cars. And everybody got big houses. And everybody got $5,000 dogs. And everybody is laced in jewelry. And everybody got big bank accounts. And man, listen, that's what you find when you go online. But see, what you don't find is, you don't find the people that's hurting. You don't find the people who lost their family. You don't find the guy whose wife has walked out on him. You don't find the people who lost a child in death. You don't find the people who can't pay their bills. You don't find the people who the company done said, we don't need you no more, go home. And now they don't have money to do anything anymore. Life is so much bigger than that. And there are a lot of people out here who are not doing as well as others. Now, understand, we're not talking down to the people who are doing good, because I want to applaud all the brothers who are doing good. Listen, I am not against the brothers who are doing good. Brother, I want to applaud you. If you're doing well, you living fine, I ain't against you. Keep doing what you're doing. You are a man among men, and you keep doing your thing. Keep living how you're living. So the only thing we're talking about here are those who sit back and looking at comparisons. So if you got the brother out there who's doing very well, the brother who has paid his dues, the brother who stayed the path, he's got it going on, he got the house, he got the car, he got all the stuff. Well, you sitting back looking at him and you don't know how he got to where he got. So all you see is the outward appearance of what looks to be good, but you don't know the turmoil, man, and the tragedy and the work that he put in to get to where he is. So what I'm saying to you is, don't you sit back and compare yourself to him, because you're going to feel inadequate. You're going to get a distorted perception of what's going on in life, because you start to think that all you got to do is shut your eyes and click your heels 3 times and poof, you there. But it's a lot more that it takes a lot of work, man. So I want you to put in the work, and I want you to have a good sense of what it takes to get to the place where you want to be. Okay. So number 5, when you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you get a distorted perception of what reality really is. So there you have it. 5 issues that can occur if you're constantly comparing yourselves to others. Now, go down to the comment section and let me know about some of the comparisons or some of the things that I missed that you say, man, here's one that you missed. You got to take a look at this, and then we'll take a look at those things and we'll talk about those things in a future video. I want to thank you for tuning in with me, and I want to thank you for staying with me to the end. I really do appreciate you, and I want you to understand and know that you are a man among men, and there are very few like you, and I want you to continue doing what you're doing. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.